Thank you for joining us for this look at the best original reporting from KPBS News this week. I'm Maya Trabulsi. Coming up, one of the biggest transit trends right now is micro-mobility. Everything from e-bikes to scooters. We check in on how San Diego's car-centric streets affect the safety of these riders. And September is NICU Awareness Month. One family whose daughter was born prematurely shares their story. See how advances in local health care allowed her to thrive. And an affordable option for renters south of the border is getting more expensive. We have the numbers behind the rising cost of living in Tijuana. And we start with the migrant situation that's getting national attention. While some of it has been somewhat organized, some aspects are not. Video journalist Matt Bowler shows us the scene in a remote area 70 miles east of San Diego.
The buzzing you hear is from the Sunrise Powerlink's massive overhead power lines. And that language is Kurdish, from a man who's chatting with his friend in a camp he made out of the desert's chaparral brush.
This is the Jacumba Desert, the Campo Desert.
Victoria Vasquez is from the mutual aid group Border Kindness. She says there's been a steady group of about 150 migrants being driven here by Customs and Border Protection and then left to wait for their asylum claims to be processed.
You don't have anything to help you. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing.
Border Kindness has been feeding and clothing migrants here in the desert since Saturday morning.
We've brought over, I want to say 1,000 sandwiches, 1,000 water bottles.
There are Chinese, Kurdish, Cuban, Colombian, Brazilian, and Russian migrants waiting for days. Adriano Garcia Fajeda is hoping to go to New York to meet up with his wife.
Busca trabalho.
He says he wants work. And this group of 6 friends from Cuba all hope to make it to the Midwest.
Chicago.
At around midday, Customs and Border Protection drive a van out on the washboard dirt road to pick up about a dozen of the migrants. Women and children who've been waiting for about a day, and 6 men who've been in the dirt since Sunday.
A lot of the people are being stranded here for days, right? We've had people that are here since Sunday. So it is a dire situation.
Vasquez says the migrants are dropped off with nothing and left to create their own shelter. The daytime temperatures here reach around 90 degrees, and it dips to the low 50s overnight.
So when it comes down to people being dumped out in the middle of the desert and being left alone and being stranded and really no other help besides regular people.
Customs and Border Protection did not respond to an interview request in time for this broadcast. Matt Bowler, KPBS News.
It was a busy week for news at our border, and it goes beyond the migrant situation. From slower travel times for commuters to rising rents in Tijuana, it's all part of our discussion on this week's KPBS Roundtable, and you can stream it as a podcast on all major platforms and at kpbs.org. Those impacted by cross-border pollution aren't letting up in their demands for action. Environment reporter Eric Anderson tells us how they're calling for California's governor to do more.
The port is sending a letter to the state's top politician to ask him to take the issue seriously.
We call on the governor to declare a state of emergency because our future is in his hands.
The letter says the South Bay communities are grappling with an unprecedented crisis that extends beyond the realms of local control. The letter continues, this dire situation demands a coordinated state and federal emergency declaration. South Bay officials say it's a situation that should concern everyone.
We're standing next to the biggest environmental emergency in the United States right now. But the state of California and the federal government are not acting like it.
There is a federal plan to make improvements on both sides of the international border, but the U.S. government has only approved about a third of the estimated $900 million needed to repair and build the infrastructure. South Bay officials say the decades-long contamination has never been worse, and that's why immediate political action is needed.
The president would take it a lot more seriously if you have the governor of a state saying, this is a crisis, this is an emergency, my constituents are hurting. You need to speed up this process and not wait 5-7 years, which is the approximate timeline that we're being given if everything goes according to plan and the funding is secured, which are big ifs.
When that money will come and when those repairs will be made remains an open question for a community that has struggled for decades with sewage contamination. Eric Anderson, KPBS News.
A construction project in North County is nearing the finish line. It will bring much-needed infrastructure to San Marcos, but North County reporter Alexander Nguyen says it's been a frustrating wait for some residents and workers.
Tim Lyon's front yard used to be landscaped with rows of trees and a manicured lawn. Now it looks like this. He's lived at this home on Discovery Street by Villa Veracruz for more than 11 years. Crews have been digging trenches by his house to install a retaining wall.
When they did all of that they drained, because they had exposed the foundation wall of my garage.
The San Marcos Creek project has been going on for more than 3 years. For residents and businesses near the creek, construction fatigue is an understatement. For Ruth Ceron, it's affected her business. Her family owns Submarine Sandwich Shop at the other end of Villa Veracruz by San Marcos Boulevard.
It has been affecting our customers from coming to the neighborhood behind us. It was supposed to take only a certain amount of time, and it's taking longer.
The project was supposed to be completed this past spring, but construction is still going on. And the last leg of the project is going to affect businesses at Villa Marco Plaza and Galleria Veracruz the most. This stretch of Villa Veracruz was open for customers to access these businesses. Today, the city closed it so crews can finish construction on the Villa Veracruz bridge. Isaac Echemendy is the project engineer for the city of San Marcos. He understands residents' frustration. He says part of the delays stem from the rain we had this winter.
We're in the last few months of construction on the project as a whole. This is one of the last things that will be getting done along with Discovery. Over the next few months, there's still going to be ongoing construction and habitat restoration. We are in the final throes of it.
But that's not fast enough for Lyons. He's selling his home and is having trouble finding buyers because of the construction.
Everybody else has been more or less fixed. And I'm here.
Construction is expected to last until the end of the year. Echemendy says, despite the delays, the project is still on budget at $114 million. Alexander Nguyen, KPBS News.
Rents in Tijuana are rising twice as fast as in San Diego. KPBS border reporter Gustavo Solis looks into what is driving this trend.
Let's go ahead and check it out.
If you're looking for a place to rent in Tijuana, Gustavo Chacon is your man. He's a realtor with decades of experience. Most of his clients come from the U.S., all of them looking for cheap rent in Mexico. Here he is, walking us through a brand new housing development in the Santa Fe neighborhood of Tijuana.
And this is a completely gated community. And this is a 2-bedroom, living, dining room, 1.5 baths, and 1 parking area.
All for just $850 a month. This place is 45 minutes from the border, but don't forget about the amenities.
They have the 2 stores, they have small plazas, they have parks, they have for basketball, for football, soccer. They also have a community center.
Median rent in San Diego is about $3,300 a month right now, according to Zillow. And that's pushing some people to migrate south to Tijuana. Atenea de la Cruz Brito is a researcher who studies why.
Son commuters, son personas que se mueven continuamente a su área de trabajo, es decir, no trabajan ni en Rosarito o en Tijuana, sino en Estados Unidos.
She says most of the people moving to Tijuana are commuters who still work in San Diego. And this influx of cross-border commuters is pushing Tijuana rents higher and higher.
Tijuana tiene ahora a la cabeza de los aumentos con un casi 70% de aumento en las rentas declaradas.
De la Cruz Brito says that rents in Tijuana increased by 63% between 2016 and 2022. That's more than double of the 30% that San Diego saw during the same time period. The Tijuana realtor, Chacon, gets calls from San Diegans looking to move to Mexico almost every day. Most of them are looking to pay about $500 to $600 a month for a house that's close to the border.
And to be truthful, there's not a lot of options.
At least not for that price and at that location.
If you're trying to get something closer to downtown, something closer to the Rio area, something closer to the border, they're going to go from $800 and up.
I look back at it now, I knew virtually no Spanish.
Michael Hodge moved to Tijuana from San Diego 3 years ago. Growing up in the Midwest, he never expected to live in Mexico.
I've been to Tijuana like maybe twice ever.
Now, people ask him for advice. especially about public safety issues.
The common question I get is, do you feel safe there? Is it okay? Is it all right? And, I just tell them, it's just like any other city. If you act like a fool and make a spectacle of yourself and be disrespectful or, it's not that hard to find fault.
Before moving to Tijuana, Hodge lived in a 2-bedroom apartment in Normal Heights, and he split the $2,500 a month rent with a roommate. When he moved to Tijuana with some coworkers, his share of the rent was only $300 a month. Yes, there are obvious savings in Tijuana, but also significant drawbacks.
I think, moving to Tijuana can definitely be an option, but I don't want them to think that everything's going to be perfect. It's not going to solve all your problems.
And the main problem is
traffic. It's ridiculous. Excuse me, but it's ridiculous.
Robert Martinez is a school bus driver in San Diego. His day begins way before the crack of dawn.
Usually I wake up between 3 and 3:30 in order to get ready, get my things ready. And by 4 o'clock, I'm out of my house and get in line. And hopefully I can make it here on time.
Martinez says the traffic in Tijuana gets worse every year. And experts like De La Cruz Brito agree. She says new construction and lack of investment in public infrastructure is causing even more traffic.
Compraron porque creían que vivían a 15 minutos de la línea, 20 minutos de la línea. Eso se convertirá en horas más las horas propias de la fila, ¿no?
For Martinez, Tijuana's horrible commutes are the real price of affordable housing in Mexico. Still, he has no plans of moving back to San Diego.
I don't regret it at all. Not at all. What I save, I use for my vacation twice a year.
Martinez and Hodge both have a special pass that grant them access to a fast vehicle border lane. Without it, both of them said living in Tijuana would be impossible. Gustavo Solis, KPBS News.
That was one of our most popular stories online this week, and here are some of the others. Metro reporter Andrew Bowen explains how it's about to get easier to pay MTS bus and trolley fares. Thomas Fudge reports on the safety of electric bikes and scooters. We'll have that for you a little bit later. And anti-Semitic tirades at a recent San Diego City Council meeting highlights the perils of anonymous public comment. Amid the Jewish high holidays, young San Diegans are remembering those killed in the Holocaust with a focus on the 1.5 million kids whose lives were taken. KPBS education reporter shows us how the Butterfly Project is used to teach this difficult history.
And go! 5 steps back.
Somewhere in the chaos of this moment, all 1,180 students of the La Jolla Country Day School worked together on the football field this morning to form human butterflies.
And 5 steps forward.
Steps were supposed to simulate flapping wings.
So you have to treat this like a real butterfly and be nice and delicate with it.
The collaboration started in the classrooms. No math or science lessons today. Instead, students from pre-K to 12th grade came together to paint ceramic butterflies in an art project to remember the millions of Jews killed in the Holocaust.
Some of them were as young as 6 months old and really just got their futures taken from them. So it's all about honoring them and putting their life in color again and being able to hold something that really reimagines one of these kids.
I have Asher, and he lived in Białystok, Poland.
8th grader Gia Gupta is working with 3rd grader Eva Logette. Every stroke of the paintbrush is intentional and dedicated to Asher Rosenbaum and his short life. There is no record of his age or the date he died in a Nazi concentration camp.
Red means like love, and I love the color red, and blue means like if somebody's sad, you can lift them up and make them happy.
I think that it was cut short before he could really, well, in a way, get out of his cocoon.
Students also sang in remembrance of those lost in history's darkest time on the campus that has a permanent artistic butterfly garden that often attracts the real thing. Ben Midler is a 95-year-old Holocaust survivor who came to share his story with students. The story of the family he left in hiding at their home in Poland while he was sent to 6 different concentration camps.
I thought this my family was left in the hiding place. Maybe they're still alive. That give me the strength to do anything in my power to move just to stay alive.
And what happened to the rest of your family?
The rest of my family died.
But he lived, and so does the memory of those who will never be forgotten anytime a butterfly spreads its wings. MG Perez, KPBS News.
This month, Rady Children's Hospital is honoring Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, or NICU families, and the staff who support them. KPBS health reporter Matt Hoffman spoke to new parents whose pregnancy didn't go as planned.
Got your preemie language going. Got your preemie language going.
Oceanside residents Clinique and Brazier Jingles are doing what they've been doing for more than 100 days, spending time in the hospital with their daughter Sienna, who was born early at 24 weeks.
I called him. I said, I'm on the road. I'm driving to the hospital right now. My water broke. It's raining. Get to the hospital right now because I think we're going to have this baby. Yeah. And his reaction was, oh no, you're not having a baby right now. It's too soon. And I said,
it was way too soon.
I said, let me repeat myself. Get to the hospital right now. I'm having this baby.
While the couple can laugh now, they say the last few months have been a roller coaster. Sienna was delivered at 1 pound 9 ounces, and since then, mom, dad, or other family members have been by her side every day.
It has been fear, it's been love, it's been apprehension, it's been excitement.
The Jingles didn't know Sienna was coming early. A full-term pregnancy is about 40 weeks, but being born at 24 weeks means the family has spent a lot of time in the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, or NICU, at Rady Children's Hospital. Sienna's undergone multiple procedures and had a breathing tube at one point.
You're okay. You're okay. You're okay.
They had no idea what to expect, including the bills. They estimate the cost of Sienna's care to be near $1 million, but thanks to insurance, they're only paying a fraction of that. It's the ups and downs, the couple says, are the hardest for NICU parents, especially when there's complications.
Because she kind of wasn't doing that well, I wasn't doing well. I was emotional. I was sad. And so I could see her struggle to breathe, and she was just fighting and fighting and fighting, and there was nothing I could do about it but just watch her fight.
Doctors told them to trust the process, but as first-time parents, that wasn't easy initially.
Trying to figure out, okay, what's the medication? What are these procedures? Who are you? Why is there a different nurse every day? Who is the doctor? What time do they come?
Sienna has been ahead of schedule and gaining weight quicker than expected.
Now it's a mommy holding her little baby with a pigeon, and they're having so much fun, just like as much fun as we're going to have with you when you come home.
The Jingles say being NICU parents isn't easy, but they do have some advice.
Hang in there, still have hope, bring positive energy to the room. Definitely. As much as possible. And if you're having a bad day, you don't have that positive energy, just compose yourself and get that positive energy, because your baby can feel it. They tell you that, but it's real. Let me tell you, our baby is a miracle, and it's real.
Because she was born so early, Sienna may have some developmental delays, but her future is bright. And some more good news. After taping this story, Sienna was released from the intensive care unit and is now at home with her family. Matt Hoffman, KPBS News.
Gas prices are pushing $6 again in San Diego, and a lot of people are turning to electric bikes, scooters, and skateboards to handle the shorter trips. But like anything, there is a learning curve, and that includes safety. SciTech reporter Thomas Fudge has the story.
This is a Blix. Chloe Lauer shows me her electric bike in a downtown park. She points out the video screen that displays her battery charge.
So this is like a full battery. You can see how fast you're going, and then this is the pedal assist.
And the tools that control the bike's motor.
And you can put it up, using the up arrow or down.
Electric bikes can be pedaled like a regular bike. They can also run just on their motor or help you pedal, giving your leg power a strong motorized boost. Some cyclists have called electric bikes a game changer. Lauer, who is director of the San Diego County Bike Coalition, does not disagree.
We love e-bikes because it's getting more cyclists on the road, And because we want to expand cycling as a mainstream thing, the more people, the more mainstream it is.
The goal of getting people out of their cars and on a bike is a step toward addressing the threat of global warming. Transportation accounts for half of San Diego's greenhouse gas emissions, but the move to electrify bikes and scooters has raised concerns among people in emergency medicine. Dr. Vishal Bansal is chief of trauma at Scripps Mercy Hospital, and he's seen a lot of accidents linked to motorized scooters, which are available on the street for rent.
You can pick one up anytime and start driving it. So if you're intoxicated, if you have really no good experience on a scooter, no one is wearing a helmet. At least I haven't seen that when I'm seeing these people in town.
UC San Diego did a study on just over 100 hospital admissions related to motorized scooters in 2017 and 2018. They found a dramatic monthly increase in admissions during that time period with a wide variety of injuries, something Bansal can vouch for.
We do see a fair amount of head injuries. Head injuries can be mild, moderate, or severe. The majority, luckily, are on the mild or moderate side, but we have had some severe head injury and death from head injury from these vehicles.
Wrist and rib fractures are also common. And what about e-bikes? Bansal says he sees a lot of kids riding them unsafely, and he thinks their speed is not properly regulated. To me, this subject is personal. Years ago, I was riding my bike to work in San Diego when I was hit by a car. I suffered traumatic brain injury, and I did end up in the Scripps Mercy Trauma Ward. It took me 3 months before I was well enough to go back to work, so I know what it's like, how dangerous it can be to ride an unprotected vehicle on a road full of cars.
You know, when you do have that interplay where you have bicyclists, right next to cars, you're essentially putting a tank next to, this itty bitty, sticks, itty bitty sticks and someone in their itty bitty helmet. So it's kind of a formidable task to go biking on our regular streets.
Elizabeth Barrera Rivest is also an emergency room physician who sees the worst results of that mismatched vehicular traffic, but she's also a member of the Health Advisory Committee of San Diego's Climate Action Campaign. You want to talk about health risks? She says those that come from climate change are severe and numerous, including asthma, heat stroke, and premature birth. The UCSD study on e-scooters describes the vehicles as inherently dangerous. Barrera Rivest argues their level of safety depends on the user.
It's the same as anything else. You have to take control of your own personal safety, and if they're treated as a toy, then certainly they're not a safe modality.
At San Diego State, racks of e-scooters are available for rent, and you see them zipping past pedestrians on sidewalks and bike paths. Cesar Jimenez bought his own scooter, which he drives to school after he parks his car off campus. I asked if he feels unsafe on the roads.
No, I don't, to be honest. No, not really. I never feel like unsafe. There's certain areas of San Diego that definitely, I think it would be nice to have those spaces for bikes or scooters. But there's some parts of San Diego I think we can get better on it.
I find the scooters and they're just perfect, and I just hop on the scooter, and sometimes it just helps me out when I'm in a dilemma and when I'm in the problem.
Some students said they don't feel safe on a road with a scooter, but with new electric cars going for more than $60,000 a pop, Barrera Rivest says finding an affordable, global-friendly way to travel may depend on those kinds of vehicles.
I think that we face a choice where we either have to make some sacrifices to be more environmentally friendly, or we face the greatest existential threat to humans.
Thomas Fudge, KPBS News.
Public transit is another way to avoid paying for gas, and some trolley stations are more pedestrian-friendly than others. KPBS reporter John Carroll visited one of San Diego's newest stops, where some advocates are trying to find ways to make it better.
One of the places it's now much easier to reach is University City. But getting to the trolley, to the Nobel Drive station, that's not so easy.
Sometimes it's hard to walk around streets that were designed just for cars.
The problem is those streets and sidewalks are what get you to this trolley station. Will Moore is the policy counsel for Circulate San Diego. The nonprofit's mission is to create excellent mobility choices and vibrant, healthy neighborhoods. Today, that means taking a tour, a walk audit of the neighborhoods surrounding the Nobel Drive station. Safety vests on, they head out.
This is usually the intersection I have an issue with.
The walk is led by Circulate Assistant Planner Maria Walker.
There's no crosswalk here. You have to go all the way in there, cross.
In addition to the lack of a crosswalk, trolley riders approaching from the west have to walk through a shopping center to get to the station.
To be safe, we're going to take the crosswalk all the way down here.
The walk audit route takes them through the shopping center to Gilman Drive, up to Via La Jolla Drive, and onto Nobel, where they cross the freeway and then walk back to the trolley station. Along the way, plenty of issues are discovered.
There's no crosswalk, there's no traffic signal. The truncated domes are faced diagonally, so someone with visual impairments probably wouldn't know which direction they're walking.
As they walk, the walkers take notes of the issues they see.
Yeah, it's a faded crosswalk right here.
At one stop, Walker, a native of New York City, makes an observation that may surprise a lot of San Diegans.
I felt safer walking in New York, knowing that pedestrians, I feel like it's more enforced for pedestrian right away.
Eventually, the group makes its way to the 5, crossing on the north side, returning on the south, and finally back to the trolley station, where recent University City transplant Trey Hanula had some thoughts.
Myself, earlier walking around this neighborhood, I almost got hit by a car just today. There's a lot of sidewalks that are inadequate for not just everyday students and shoppers, but also those with mobility impairments, visual, hearing impairments. It's not super safe.
The information gleaned from the notes the walkers took today will be distilled into a report which will eventually make its way to the City Council. The hope being that what was learned on the walk audit will translate into repairs and improvements out there. In University City, John Carroll, KPBS News.
And we hope that you enjoyed this look at KPBS News this week. I'm Maya Trabulsi. Thanks for joining us.